Hello everyone, this is CJNovo992 and today we're back for another brand new video. And today's video is a bit of an unusual one because we as fans for once actually face the exact same challenge as the players that we support and cheer and follow everywhere, because somehow, some way we've to sort our noggins out, people, and let go of Thursday and refocus in on this game tomorrow, because this game is just as big, it's just as important as we go up to Tannadice play Dundee United. And we're just going to get the ball rolling right away with today's video. There's going to be no faffing about here, no. We're going to dive right in to the old oppositional preview and have a look at this Dundee United side, who obviously offer a completely different challenge to what we conquered on Thursday. But it's a challenge nonetheless, as Dundee United come into this game versus Rangers at my current time of recording sitting 4th in the old SPFL table, having really found who they are this season and are on a fantastic run of form that has only saw them lose one of the last 7 games in all competitions, and that one loss in the last 7 games, people, was due to a 95-minute winner away at Parkhead to the other side of the Old Firm rivalry. And that's a bit of a sobering idea, and it just gets you back up thinking, right, this won't be an easy game on paper. I mean, they never are after European football, but especially the way that Dundee United are playing recently, because they've sort of found that formula that every team craves throughout a season, and that is how to keep that back door shut. Because see that game that we just talked about, their last loss back to Celtic, yeah, that is also the last time they conceded way back in the 95th minute on the 29th of January was the last time Dundee United conceded a goal. And you know what's even crazier about that fantastic defensive run for Dundee United is see the goal they actually conceded versus Celtic. They really shouldn't have done it. It was easily avoidable. It was a kind of last ditch sort of cross into the box. It's a good cross, but the defender is there and he just misses. His header just misses his header and allows a tap in behind them. That is definitely something that they'll be looking into as a unit and be frustrated, because they worked so hard and they've done their job, but one missed header at the last kick of the ball took the point away that they well and truly deserved as a defensive unit. But to give credit where credit's due, the defensive unit has well and truly bounced back as they come into this game versus Rangers on the back of 4 consecutive clean sheets, and that's well and truly been their foundation to success this season. That is why they are where they are in the table, because where they've been so good defensively, going forward has been a struggle all season long, as they actually sit 4th in the table despite having scored the joint 2nd least amount of goals all season long in the entire league. That is absolutely mental, because we talked about how positive was the recent run coming into this game from a defensive point of view, but actually going forward they've actually failed to score in 3 of the last 5 matches into this game. So I think it tells you everything you need to know about what type of game you're going to be expecting, what type of game you're going to be seeing. It's going to be a hell of a lot more defensive than what we faced on Thursday, but the tail of the tape is, if you do manage to score versus Dundee United, they do normally start to rattle a little bit, because believe it or not, right up to this point of the season, they have actually only came back from behind to win a game once all season long. That's an incredible stat. So a couple of early goals would be lovely, Rangers, for these grey hairs. And lastly, speaking of grey hairs, they of course added some greys to this noggin earlier on this season, where they beat us in this exact same fixture at the start of this season, 1-0 breaking our undefeated streak. We all know what was going wrong and everything like that, so there is a wee bit of spice added to this game that's already a feisty game between the two sides. Rangers will want to prove a point, and Dundee United want to continue their recent success, not in terms of the league, but keeping the back door shut, and obviously having a win the last time Rangers went up to Tannadice. So it's certainly shaping up to be a very good game, but in regarding how they actually shape up, not much has actually changed. They still line up in a 3-5-2 sometimes on paper, which is basically a 5-3-2 people, where they just drop in, they make it as uncomfortable and as hard to watch as possible, and then they use the ball in behind to the likes, say, Tony Watt or anything like, who's a willing runner. You all know about him, and as he has shown in his time at Motherwell when they were sitting playing 5-5 versus Rangers, as he is willing to come back, track back and defend. So I imagine we're going to see a hell of a lot more bodies behind the lines than we did on Thursday, which is a shame, because I liked that space, but space certainly won't be given to Rangers in this game. We'll need to take it. And truthfully, that's all I've really got to add about this Dundee United side, who are having a fantastic season, but a season I hope starts to crumble starting tomorrow. That would be absolutely lovely. But moving on to the Rangers side of today's video, Thursday. people, right? I know I said I wasn't going to talk about it, but come on, how am I not supposed to? And that game, the memories, the feeling and everything, I'll cherish that forever, people. But as we said right at the start of today's video, this challenge tomorrow is just as important as the one on Thursday, and it's going to be a very interesting test from a Rangers player's point of view, because they've just shown what they're capable of doing and playing versus some of the most expensive players in the world, crazy wages, some of the most talented players in the world. But now they have to take it into this game and keep that level of performance, effort, tracking, work rate, skills, belief on the ball. You need to take all that and bring it in. You can't go doing a gear and think, alright, it's Scottish football now and get comfortable. Because I don't know about you people, but son, about Thursday just felt like a real momentum changer in every single aspect. And there's so many people now running out and being quick to praise Rangers and talk them up and this and that. But we can't get lost in all that hype, because see the same people that's now rushing to sing the praise of Rangers, they'll be even faster to go and start digging them out and calling these players for this and this and this, people. So we can't focus on that, and hopefully the players aren't getting lost in all the bright lights and everyone talking about it's time to get back to business, because it'll be a very sobering feeling if they let their standards drop, because Dundee United will be hoping and expecting that drop off, and that is what they'll feed off. But if we can flip it and keep that intensity up and get after them and not allow them to settle at all defensively, that'll really change the game. And again, the momentum aspect that I've really felt over the last couple of weeks really kicked into gear on Thursday, and we need to just keep on moving in that direction. And speaking of momentum and speaking of going in that direction, normally we would all be sitting here saying, well, we need to pick the exact same team, but obviously there is some latest team news, so we're going to transition into that and let you know what Giovanni and Calvin Bassett etc. has been talking about, because we've got a little bits of nugget information regarding the likes of Ryan Jack. It definitely sounds again like he will be rotated out, which is obvious and quite understandable when you look at it, the way he just comes into a game, marry the match, and then he has to come back out to sort of build himself back up, because despite his performances on the park not looking like he spent the best part of a year and a half away, that's still what's actually under his legs and everything. So I don't expect to see Ryan Jack starting in this game tomorrow. I expect him to see him starting again on Thursday, but it does give another opportunity to the likes of Kamara, who I imagine will come in, or the very first start for Aaron Ramsey, which could be an interesting. I'd love to know where you sit with that one. Do you bring in Ramsey? Do you go with what you know in Glenn Kamara? Do you maybe even rest out Lundstrom? Where's your head going at? What do you think we need going into Dundee United? I still think we need a bit of bite, and if Lundstrom's able to go, I'd be starting him. But we are going to need to get forward. We're going to need players that's brave enough to take people on, and this really could be the emergence of Aaron Ramsey in the game that Aaron Ramsey lets himself be known to Scottish football, with his late runs into the box and his movement and going forward. Because again, all that space that was there on Thursday will not be there. We'll need players to create their own space, and Ramsey's made a career of doing that. Big decision. I would love to know where your heads are at going in to this game of football. But the rest of the team news is Kamal Roof, Fashion Sakala and John McLaughlin, 3 players obviously missed Thursday, are all in contention for this game going in tomorrow, and I expect them all to be either involved on the bench or involved in the starting 11 as we try and rotate it, because we gave a lot in that game of football. I mean, did you see the likes of Joe Rebo walking off that part that could barely move? So I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot of tweaks and changes. Well, I say a lot of tweaks and changes, I mean like 2 or 3. And that's kind of it, thankfully, for the Rangers team. There's no fresh injury concerns with no Balogun's situation. He's coming back, he's building his way back up, and Big Phil Hollander obviously missed Thursday, but that's simply because he's not in the Europa League squad. I imagine Big Phil will be back in to that back 4 starting versus Dundee United, and that'll be a massive boost for our defence, because I love Bassey and I love Barisic and everything like that, but for these games especially, I think it's mostly on concentration, because we're going to have the ball for so long, we're going to be dominating for so long. It's that 1 or 2 times a game where you need your defenders to be switched on, and for me, he reads the game better than anyone. He could be a very big asset for us going into the game tomorrow. But that's honestly all I've really got to say, people. That's been the oppositional preview, that's been the Rangers conversation, and that has of course been the latest Rangers team news. Now all that's left for us today is get out here and allow you to enjoy the rest of your Saturday. But before you do go, if you didn't mind giving me a wee prediction, a wee bit of luck, bit of confidence, give me something. But anyway, whilst you're sharing your thoughts and opinions out there, I'll give you mine very briefly. I'm expecting a frustrating game. Dundee United shown that they're well and truly capable of doing that, but if we can just get that goal, especially early enough in the game of football, it could set us on to have a very, very good afternoon. So I'm just going to keep it Rangers 2, Dundee United nil. I was tempted to go channel favourite because I could throw a spanner in the works, especially when you look at the fact there are no scoring goals. It would just be the typical football thing that they would in this game. But Rangers back 4, I think it's getting solid enough. I'm going to go Rangers 2, Dundee United nil. But until next time, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I've been CJ over 92. That has been Rocky Boy Johnson. I'll see you tomorrow after the game. Enjoy your Saturday. All the best and bye-bye.